Hello everyone, it is Mike here, and welcome to another Rumble. We got a great one here for you. It is horror video games, the genre. There is going to be a couple that are kind of questionable here, but I mean, it was hard putting this together actually, because not a lot of people are available, and this is probably the most questionable of all of the picks that I have here, and that is Naughty Bear. Now, Naughty Bear is, I think there's just one game of that. It's an action-adventure, technically. But it's a teddy bear with a machete. Okay, so I'm going to count it. Okay, I know that's kind of a debatable one. There's also another one on here that could be debatable. But most of them are pretty within the genre. So we're kicking things off with Naughty Bear. And we'll see who number 2 is. And, of course, this one's one of the best ones, Mr. X. So we got Mr. X from Resident Evil 2. And that is going to be an awesome one. Oh, wow. Just a beast. He is absolutely a beast. And I always think of his footsteps. You always need to play that game with your headset on. Because you can literally hear his footsteps. And that's the only way you're going to detect him without getting surprised. And sometimes that's not even good enough. He has his way of sneaking up on people. But do I like him better than Nemesis? Probably not. But I do like running from him better than Nemesis. I think Nemesis is probably an easier boss. But overall, running from Mr. X is way worse. And Joel is number 3 from The Last of Us. And of course, that one's action-adventure too, but there's horror elements. So as long as there's some sort of element to it, I'm fine with putting it in. I've only played the first Last of Us. I've seen that brutal scene in Last of Us 2, though, which is just, oh my goodness, just heartbreaking and very... Talk about swinging for the fences with storytelling. That is definitely swinging for the fences, that one is. And number 4 is Nightmare Bonnie. So we got Nightmare Bonnie in the house from Five Nights at Freddy's. A franchise that, you know, I owe some gratitude toward. Because without that one, I don't think we would have been as big. But definitely a franchise that was big on the map and still is big on the map. It still has a lot of lore on it. They just put out their first movie that did really well. I thought it could have been a better movie, but it was all right. It wasn't a terrible movie, but it could have been way better. And number 5 is James from Silent Hill. I noticed something about James here. He kind of looks like Leon. So I'm wondering what's going on with if Resident Evil and Silent Hill kind of copy one another. I'm kind of wondering that. And Bonnie eliminates Joel. And number 6 is Bendy from Bendy and the Ink Machine, which is like a puzzle horror game. Which, to be honest, looking at it, it's not for me. It's definitely not for me. And this is one that I had to look up and make sure it was part of the genre because I don't think it looks scary. But maybe I should play it before I say anything. I still think, you know, when we get down to scariness, Dead Space, Condemned, Fear can be scary at times, but Dead Space and Condemned are probably the best experiences I've had with games that are in the horror genre. And number 7 is Ellis from Left 4 Dead. And Left 4 Dead is a great horror game too. I mean, Left 4 Dead is the best zombie game. I still think it's the best zombie game. You know, people like Dead Rising and Dead Island and Dying Light, but it has nothing on Left 4 Dead. And they need to make... Why have they not made Left 4 Dead 3? Is there something wrong with the company or the rights to it? It makes no sense that they haven't made it. I'll look it up later, but... And number 8, Slender, which is another good one. You know, there's one person I used to watch and he played Slender, and the page, he got really scared to the point he was screaming at the top of his lungs. That's how scared he got. So, but it is a pretty scary game because it does, and the number one rule for at least for the first game, the 8 pages in the woods, the default game, the very first thing, is always go to the bathroom first. Whoever's idea it is to go to the bathroom last is really needs to get their head examined. And speaking of Left 4 Dead, we got Coach, my favorite Left 4 Dead character. Yeah, if you go to the bathroom like after 4 pages, you're crazy. You're just crazy. And I think that's what that guy did, and he screamed so loud because it's the footage of it's so good because the tentacles come out of his back, and it's so crazy. And number 10 is Frank West from the first Dead Rising, and I've only really played Dead Rising 2, and it's fun, but it's not on the same level. I'm a first person shooter person, so third person's not as good, but I can respect the goofiness of the game. It's a lot of fun, and I prefer Dead Rising 2 in the mall, or that one's in the mall. I think they're both in the mall. The first 2 are. And all the creative ways, and of course, riding a tricycle around the mall is always fun. I think that's the one where you can ride a tricycle, and you look like a total goofball, but it's hilarious. It really is. And Coach Ellis, oh my goodness, Ellis is the one to take out Coach. Wow. So his own person has taken him out. And I love Left 4 Dead 2. I really haven't played a lot of 1. I kind of got introduced to the franchise in number 2, which it's probably a better game. 2's the classic. And, everyone's going to have the zombie debate. What's the best zombie game? But I can't think of a better one. I think the gore on it's perfect. It's cartoony but perfect. And I like the characters. I like how the missions are based, where you can just select one any time. And of course the pipe bomb, the different types of zombies, whether it be the bloater or the witch is another one. Yeah, I like all of those. I love any game where the enemy has a class. Like Halo is a big example, and Left 4 Dead's another one. You have like with Halo, you have your grunts, you have your jackals, you have your brutes, and then the drones and the hunters, which the hunters are the worst, obviously. And then, of course, you have the Prophet, who's the leader. He's just a complete dork, and nobody likes him, but the brutes were always my favorite class in Halo. And we're about to get, who is this guy? Is that the guy from Manhunt? Yes, it is. It's the dude from Manhunt. And that was another debatable one. Some would probably consider that a stealth or kind of a thriller, but come on. There's kills in Manhunt 2 that I find more disturbing than most horror movies. So I'm definitely putting Manhunt in here. And, people can gripe, but I think it's a great pick. And Slender trying to get rid of... I wouldn't mind playing Manhunt, but I'm not playing number 2. Number 2 is just too much for me. But I wouldn't mind playing the first one, but it's too stealthy. Albert Wesker is number 12 from Resident Evil. And, of course, he is one of the main villains of the franchise. One of my least favorite. I don't think he's a... I mean, if you played the first game, which I really haven't, that was probably a good villain for the first game. But I think they kind of get weird with him in the movies, in the later games. I know he's kind of like that main villain. I'm sure there's other people too. But Mr. X and Nemesis and Lady D are more iconic. And you could even put Jack Baker in there. And the family, the whole entire family. And Slender's done. Albert's already finished. So Mr. X is still in this thing. So we'll see how far he can go. And Naughty Bear's already been eliminated, so we'll see how far X can go. And he might get eliminated here. I might have jinxed him. And he is finished. And there goes another person also, I believe a Silent Hill guy. I've never played Silent Hill. I played a little bit of Homecoming, but I haven't played a lot of it. Bendy's finished. So just like that, there was one point where the ring was full, and now it's almost empty. So, crazy. And that's how it usually works. They all fly out at once, so I can't keep track of it. They do it deliberately. They do. And I'll see how far Mr. X got with this next pick. And he got to 13. So, Chris Redfield. Of course, RE5's a great one. I never beat RE5, though. I still haven't beat it. I had issues with one of the bosses, and I just got mad and didn't want to redo everything because I needed, certain weapons. And I never got back to it. It kind of lost me once Albert got involved. It kind of lost me. And there was a puzzle that really ticked me off. It's not near as good as 4. I think 4 and 8, and 2, 3, 4, and 8 are the best. 7's not for me, and 1's not for me. And number 14 is the Doom Slayer. And of course, I love Doom 3. Doom 4 is fun too, unless it starts getting stressful. I never played Doom Eternal. I love the idea of Doom. I don't like the idea of playing Doom. I like watching it. I don't like playing it as much, especially the newer ones that are super fast-paced and where they try to make you angry. They go out of their way to make you angry. And Bonnie is finished. And number 15 is the Keeper. Oh, man. The Evil Within. The Keeper from the... I haven't played that game in like a century. But I remember the Keeper. He was so annoying. He's absolutely annoying. And 16 is the Clown. I think it's Dead by Daylight. Someone told me that. So we got the Clown from Dead by Daylight. I don't know anything about that. I know they have all these skins and all these characters and all kinds of stuff. And 17 is Alan Wake. I need to play Alan Wake too. A bunch of people have been telling me it's first of all, he looks like John Wick. And everyone's been, I think it won it didn't win Game of the Year. Baldur's Gate did. But it did do really good. It was one of the most iconic games, and everyone was raving and talking about it. I played the first one, And, of course, it's a lot better than the first one, of what I've heard. I'm planning on picking it up maybe Black Friday and giving it a try, but hopefully it doesn't make me rage. And 16 is Foxy Foxy. It reminds me of that weird Rob Zombie song. And 19 is Leon, my favorite. But I did see some similarities between him and the Silent Hill guy. Mr. Kennedy. That's what Salazar would say, Mr. Kennedy. That's how he speaks, because he's a little turd. That's what he is. Oh my goodness, Salazar, man. I don't know. I think the guys in the Red Hood have outdone him on the new game. I think they have. Oh, they're so trash. I cannot stand them. You know, I used to hate Krauser. Krauser was the first time I played it, it was Salazar was the worst. Second time I played it, Krauser was the worst. And then the third time, it was the guys in the Red Hood. And of course, the Cabin Siege. Oh, my goodness. The Cabin Siege was just too brutal. Guy from Manhunt's still alive. He knows how to survive, I guess. I think the idea of Manhunt's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. It's too brutal. I mean, of course, but I'm not for censorship. Of course, France and Australia, they like to ban everything. It's like, you know, get over yourself. You know, I'm definitely not for censorship. Manhunt 2 does go too far, but like, when you start saying stuff goes too far, you know, when is, that's the thing, when is it okay and not okay? Because everyone has a different opinion. Some people think all violent video games are horrible and should not be, you know. Me, there's only a couple I think qualify. I mean, there's obvious when you're trying to go for shock value and there's no art about it. I mean, technically everything's art, but you know, there's certain, but most of the time the mainstream will determine it and they won't support it. And when they don't support it, you won't see more of it. So you have to let the people decide. It has to be a democracy. And, you know, France and Australia always, you know, losing their minds, banning Saints Row 3, banning, what was the other one? Manhunt 2, banning other stuff. Like, get a life. You know, the problem is, you know, people are on their phones all the time. That's the problem with the world. And the Keeper just got destroyed by the Doomslayer. I'm on my phone too much, but it's for music. Usually it's just music or entertainment. I don't, like, text all the time, like, and get on dumb TikTok. I don't even have anything to do with that. That trash. And 20 is Miles Upshur from Outlast. That is one game I won't play. I don't like games where I can't defend myself. Plain and simple. And I don't want to be chased by Chris Walker, and I definitely don't want to be chased by the twins. The twins are the worst. Oh, no. I'm not doing that. Oh, I'm not doing that. And then I've seen scenes in the game, and it's just too much for me. And 21, speaking of Outlast, we got Chris Walker chasing Miles Upshur. So he's after Miles Upshur now. He's officially here. And Chris Walker's a great design. And but he's not, I don't think he's the main villain in the game. I think he's one of the main villains. There's multiple villains. There's the twins. There's him. There's a crazy doctor I know. I've seen bits and pieces of the game. But I have no desire on playing it. I don't like stealth. I like to be able to fight back. So Alien Isolation, Outlast, can't do any of those. And 22 is Isaac Clarke. Definitely the best. One of the best characters in the in games like this. The first 2 games are masterpieces. The second one might be top 20 all-time games. And Dead Space is just nothing but amazing. The atmosphere, they need to make a movie on it. I know they've made movies like it, but they need to make a movie like Dead Space. I know people say Pandorum and you know, all this other Alien and stuff. No, they need to actually make a Dead Space movie. And we got Richard here. His name is Richard Braintree. Weird name. From Silent Hill. Like I said, I've never played a Silent Hill game. I played like maybe 10 minutes of Homecoming. Shame on me, I know. I've seen the first the Silent Hill movies. Both of them. Really like number 1. Number 2 is like a bad game. And 24 is Nemesis, my boy. Nemesis. The one, the only. Yeah, Richard Braintree. What a name. I guess he may be a villain. I don't know. I don't know anything about this character. Kind of got him out of desperation. Because I had trouble getting to 30. I really did. It was really tough. And 25 is Jack Baker. From RE7, one of the main villains of the part of the family. And like I said, I never played RE7, but it looks great. It's just another kind of stealthy game. I know you can fight back a little bit, but just not my cup of tea. I'm an RE8. If we're talking about Ethan's storyline, I really love RE8. I love the villain class in that also, and all the different bosses. Not a big fan of the one with the puppet one. That has a bunch of puzzles, I think. And 26 is the Regenerator. Oh. More like the Degenerate. Oh, man. I have stories. That slimy, disgusting looking thing that never dies. And what I think so dumb about some of the RE4 games is sometimes you have to look stuff up. Because they make it so difficult. And if you don't know in the new game to have a what's it called? Like one of those scopes you can see through, you're basically done for. And Chuck Green's here from Dead Rising 2. Yeah, so if you don't know where to shoot them, or unless you get a lucky shot, I guess, you're basically done for. You can slow them down, but you have to hit them in the right spot. And even with that, I have trouble. Even when I know where to hit them. Because they're not going to hold still, obviously. And I'm not a good shot. You all know I'm not a good shot. I'm a terrible shot. So, but bad memories. The Regenerator, of course. One of the hardest ones to kill. And we still have Chris Walker and Miles Upshur in here. And Nemesis, wow. Early exit for Nemesis, kind of disappointing there to see him gone so early. Chuck Green is hanging on for his life. He doesn't have that tricycle. That game's just so ridiculous fun. And that we need more games like that. I mean, games are not what they used to be. I mean, they have to remaster half of them because the ones back in the day were so good. Now I feel like an old man saying back in the day. I'm sure the people that played Space Invaders appreciate me for saying that. And 28 is Nightmare Freddy. So we got 2 more to go. I don't know who all is going to be left. I'm trying to think of the people that are going to be left here. And we've had a couple standouts, but no one's really done great yet. Some people have been in here for a little while, but we'll see how far they can go. And we still have 2 more to go, but those 2 cannot be released until we lose 2, and we just lost 1 with Chuck Green gone. And there goes, thank goodness. Yeah, he can regenerate back in the locker room. That's where he can regenerate. I have so many bad stories about him. So many bad ones. One involving Ashley, of course, because she is the bane of my existence. The thorn in my side. Ashley has always been. So now we can get our final 2 in here and see who they are. Oh, Isaac's done. They only have 1 Isaac. Every year it's like only 1 Isaac is available. It's always a hard one to get. And I'm just surprised that it's all, I guess because he's EA. they don't like him or something. But 29 is Boris. So I think he's the villain from Bendy. Yeah, I have no desire to play that. No desire to play Cuphead. That's another one. Yeah, Cuphead just... someone said I should never play that, and then I watched it, and it frustrated me watching. So I'm never playing that or Dark Souls. You can just... Oh, there goes Chris Walker. Oh, and Boris got snuck up on by that weirdo. Richard Braintree. I love that name. Big Daddy's number 30. So we are down to our finalist. And Big Daddy at 30? Oh, a nightmare. Just an absolute nightmare. Of course, from BioShock. And, yeah, we are down to 5. 5 remain. Miles Upshur, watch out for him. He's been in here the longest, which is a surprise. Because I thought Nemesis, Chris Walker, I thought they would do way better job. But they just haven't been up for it. So. Oh, and I want to keep on calling him Crabtree, like the football player, but his name is Braintree. And Braintree somehow survives, and he's just hanging on there. I'm surprised he's still in this thing. I have no idea who this guy is. He might be a villain. He looks like a villain, but I have no idea who he is. I just know he's part of the game somehow. He may have just a small part. And, you got 2 juggernauts in here, Freddy and Big Daddy. And, oh my goodness, Miles takes down one of them. So Freddy is done, and we are down to 4. So the bear is done. The animatronic, I thought it was a cool idea. I think it's a cool idea. And right now, Miles and this Braintree are the ones to beat. And Braintree is hanging on there. Almost got thrown out. So we are down to 4. And Big Daddy, misses. I like how he's called Big Daddy. I've played some of BioShock. I think I kind of gave up on it. But I love BioShock Infinite. BioShock Infinite's incredible. And there goes Miles. So what a run. What a run, though. So we are down to 3. We got Jack Baker, Big Daddy, and Braintree. It's like, who in the world? What kind of name is that? No wonder. If he's evil, no wonder. He has that last name. It's understandable. I don't know if is Big Daddy evil or not. I don't know. He protects the children, I think, or does he? I forget. The sisters or I forget that whole lore. They need to make a movie on that too. They have so many ideas and they just will not capitalize. Or if they do the ideas, they don't do a good job. Unless it's Sonic. They've done a good job with Sonic. But they haven't done a good job with anything else. Oh, wow. Braintree. What in the world? So we're down to 2. It's Jack Baker and Braintree. It's such a weirdo finale here. And one of these weirdos is going to take it. Oh my goodness, and once again, unbelievable. He should be done by now, but he's had counters and he's gotten lucky a couple times. And now he has an opportunity, but he's just going to stare at Jack, which is not a good idea. You don't want to give Jack any room to work with. Once you do that, it could be catastrophe. An absolute catastrophe it could turn into. And Jack, Braintree misses. Usually you shouldn't be able to miss that, but the glitch makes sure that you do, which makes absolutely no sense. But I guess he timed it wrong. No, he kind of timed it right, but they're not accepting it. And Braintree almost had him, but Jack is fighting back. Uh-oh, Jack has Braintree. Is he going to charge? Or is he going to just stare at him? Oh, come on. Come on, Jack. How dumb can you be? You big dummy. Like, what is he thinking? And Braintree, we'll see if he's smarter. And he is. So he wins. Wow. I never thought Richard Braintree would win anything. I mean, this is the first time we've ever had him. We've ever had him. On one of these, at least. And he's not going to Mania, but, I mean, he comes close. Yeah. Congratulations, Braintree. Yeah, he wants to go home. He doesn't want to go to Mania. He just wants to go home. And, very weird. If you told me that he would have won this, I would have told you were crazy. I would have probably bet my left arm. So I'm glad I didn't bet my left arm. He's not going to WrestleMania, but still, like, that was weird. That's a weird ending. I never thought we would see anything like that. So, but anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. A lot of fun. And I don't know if we've ever had this idea before. I know we've had stuff similar to this. And maybe we've had a group of 15 like this. But I don't recall if I don't think we have, because it took a lot to get this list together. It did take a lot, but anyway, I'll see you all later.